my beautiful flag.
Oh, yes.
When I was younger, I feel like there was obviously LGBTQ plus artists, but I didn't really like look at anyone and think, oh, they look like me.
I've been really lucky in my coming out experience, and kind of just like one day like showed up and was like, this is my girlfriend, and everyone was like, oh, it makes sense.
There's a whole community that loves and accepts you for who you are, and we're waiting for you.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Power Talks on our Warner Music channel Angesagt. We would like to give artists the opportunity not to only talk about music, but also in general to talk about social and political topics. And today we're going to talk about Pride, and this is something that I'm really proud of because you may know me from my LGBTQ plus blog Hollywood Tramp, and I'm so excited to welcome my today's guest. And before I do so, I have to throw in a little reminder because we are going to have a live event, a Pride live event, the very first See My Pride stream on TikTok, and one of my guests today will also perform at this event. So first of all, welcome to the talk, Elle Devine and Maya. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice to see you. So just give us a quick info. Where are you right now? Which country, which city, which part of the planet?
I'm in Newcastle in the UK. It's very gloomy and rainy outside in the north of England, but it's home.
And Maya, where are you right now?
I am currently in Sydney, in Australia.
So it's nighttime.
Yes, it is. It's like very dark outside, and terrible Wi-Fi. So I'm hiding out at my manager's place in his front room, taking this call.
I hope the Wi-Fi is good enough so you understand what we are saying. So if not,
it's going through.
Raise your hand, say stop, or something like that. So Maya, you will perform at the See My Pride event.
Yeah.
So looking forward to see it, and I will host it, so we will see each other there again. So we all just celebrated Pride Month in June. Is there anything particular you both do, like any tradition or a special record you listen to, a particular location you're going to visit at Pride Month? Are there any rituals you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, usually I guess like Pride's been a little bit different for me this year. I don't know. I mean, for all of us, like usually I'd be at like a Pride event outside, like surrounded by loads of other queer people and just, you know, soaking up all the queerness. But I guess, yeah, we've been kind of stuck indoors a bit more this time. So I don't know. I've been listening to obviously a lot of queer artists making a lot of Pride playlists and jamming out that stuff, but also like a lot of like movie marathons. I think like watching some good classic queer movies always makes me like in the Pride mood. So
we have Mardi Gras in Australia, so we celebrate Mardi Gras in the earlier parts of the year. So that's almost like our version of our Pride Month. That's like the most Pride Month thing I can think of, because we all go like all out for that. Like every single person, if you're, you know, part of the LGBT community or not, you just like absolutely flood the streets. Like you can't, everything gets closed off. Like we just take over like the city.
So do you both have the feeling that Pride Month in general is different due to the pandemic? I don't know the situation in Australia, but for example, here in Germany, clubs are still closed. We can't do open airs. So it's a bit difficult to have some kind of visibility because we always had the big parades and the demonstrations. So how do you feel about Pride when it comes to the pandemic?
Australia has been completely locked down this time, this year and last year. So like I'm not even really meant to be where I am right now. Like I'm meant to be in my house, not allowed to leave currently. So I celebrated Pride Month at home with my dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar in the UK as well. The clubs aren't open till July 19th. So I guess on the 19th, I'm just going to go to Heaven, which is like not on the 19th, but after that, I'll definitely go to Heaven, which is like a gay club in London, and I'll make up for all the lost Pride parties.
So maybe I should come to England to have some parties, as long as it's all closed here. So it's not only about Pride Month. I feel like we have like Pride every day. We should have Pride every day. Do you feel like the visibility for LGBTQ plus people is raising in general through the years?
Definitely. Well, at least it feels like that. Maybe because when like you don't get exposed to as much of this stuff when you're like younger, it's more when you have the freedom to look for it yourself now. But it just feels like because of the internet and because there are so many people that aren't being censored because you can't fully, you don't have to go through like 100 people to make an Instagram post and like talk about your feelings. So I feel like it's getting better and closer to just being the norm.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think so many people can use their voices freely now. And I mean, just like so much stuff that I've been a part of that I didn't see growing up. Like my school asked me to go in and do like an LGBTQ plus talk and talk to the students, which is like something that I would have like massively appreciated when I was like a 15-year-old at school and stuff like that. So even stuff like that just shows how far we've come.
Yeah, that's such a good point, because when I was young, there was no one in the media that was representing the way I felt. So now we have social media. You have influencers, you have people doing fashion who represent a bit of maybe the look you like or the way they are comfortable with each other. So that was why I was attracted to people like Michael Jackson, Prince, who were like from another planet, because that was the only thing that was close to how I saw myself. So I think today maybe it's a bit easier for young people to have role models like musicians like you two. Do you feel sometimes, do you recognize this when you're doing music, that young people, do you open up a door for them, young LGBTQ people?
Yeah, because it's like you said, like when I was younger, I feel like there was obviously LGBTQ plus artists, but I, like you said, like I didn't really like look at anyone and think, oh, they look like me. That reminds me of me. I see myself in them, you know, like as a lesbian, like when I was younger, the only lesbian I could really think of in the limelight was like Ellen, you know, and like I didn't look at Ellen and think like,
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
And it's like, yeah, I love Ellen, but like I didn't really like look at her and think, oh, there I am, you know, like and I think, you know, that, and it's so important for young people to, you know, see themselves represented by people that really are like them, because, you know, it helps you understand who you are, you know.
I think it's been really cool seeing more female androgynous and non-binary people in media, and like I saw a cover of Elle the other day, and they had their first non-binary / transgender person on the front, and it was just like the coolest thing. So I was just like, this makes me feel safer, you know, if I felt like maybe I will identify as that someday, or maybe, you know, like I have friends that identify as non-binary, and it's like becoming more accepted and less like alien.
Yeah, for sure.
People are talking about it, so it's making it seem a lot more normal, and it's like, it's exciting. It shouldn't be.
So what you both have in common as a musician is you both sing and talk about your sexuality. So sexuality is something very intimate, isn't it? Some kind of challenging to put out something that personal out in the world and sharing it with people. I mean, not everyone likes it.
Yeah. I think definitely, like at first for me, it was scary, like making that decision, you know, of using female pronouns in my songs when I was talking about, you know, my love interests. Like at the start, I was super scared just because of, you know, just because I'd grown up listening to music and pop stars, and I'd never heard that before. And I kind of always felt when I was younger, oh, I'm going to have to, you know, be ambiguous about it so that my music can like appeal to people universally. And that's stupid, because it, like, as soon as I released a song talking about my sexuality openly, you know, I saw how many kids and how many LGBTQ plus people really like related to that and needed that, and how much comfort that brought them. And yeah, that's exactly what I needed when I was younger. So it feels good.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Like, I didn't even think about it. Honestly, I didn't even realize it. And then people would ask me, you know, the question of like, you're so open about, you know, your sexuality and your music. And I'd be like, am I? Really? I don't feel like I talk about it at all. And then I realized that it's just the pronouns. And I was like, oh. And then obviously there's a couple of people that, you know, say some shit like, all you ever do is sing about being gay. And I'm like, actually, I don't. I sing about like my emotions and my life and my love interests, and they just happen to be female. Like, it's the same as every other artist singing about, you know, love. They're just like women. And I like never thought that it was anything different at all. I was just like, oh, I'm just another person writing love songs, until the same thing happened where people would just be like, oh, I've just never heard like music like this, or like you don't hear music like this that's just happens to be about women. And then like now I think it's really cool. At the time there was a part that I was like, why can't everyone just see me as another fucking artist that just makes like songs like everyone else? But I'm actually really like grateful for it now.
100%.
It feels natural.
Yeah. But it's so funny that you're mentioning this, because now everyone is talking about Lil Nas X having a kiss on at an award show. I don't know if you saw the performance, but this is like, if you're gay, this is what you do. I mean, if you're heterosexual, I mean, I saw Beyonce doing 10 lap dances to Beyonce on stage. So why can a gay man have a kiss with his gay dancer? And everyone's discussing something that people did like 30 years ago. I mean, same-sex kisses at award shows is nothing new, but people are still being shocked, are still talking about this. How do you feel about that?
It's annoying. It's just annoying.
Period.
It's just like it's just annoying.
Adima, do you agree? You're laughing.
No, I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. I still think, I thought it was amazing still, though. I thought it was powerful, you know, like having a queer black man kiss, like, so like another guy on stage was incredible. And I remember seeing, I know it's nothing new, but I do think in a way it is new. Like, I know Madonna posted being like, I did this, like whatever, but it wasn't the same. That also pissed me off, because it isn't the same, you know, like that was a bit queerbaity maybe, but like and this is like a genuine representation of a queer black guy, like, you know, doing his thing, and that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's irritating that the media and like certain people like to paint like two gay men kissing as offensive and two females kissing as hypersexual and like risky and like wrong, and then, you know, heterosexual couple kissing is like wholesome and sweet. I'm like, what? Who got to pick that? Like, I think that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So how do your fans react to what you're doing? Are there queer kids who tell you their stories or what happened in their life, or do you encourage them to come out? Are there any great stories that you can share?
I mean, I get messages all the time, especially from like my songs where, you know, I'm like explicitly talking about like a relationship with a girl, which is like all of them, to be fair. But, I get messages all the time, and people telling me, you know, like that they've just come out. I don't think I would never like, I always like offer my support and any advice in any ways that I can, but, you know, I've never told someone to come out. I think that's like, you know, that's their thing. I've just encouraged them by saying, you know, when you do and when you are ready, like there's a whole community that loves and accepts you for who you are, and we're waiting for you. But I think it's important that, you know, you do everything at your own pace, like that you feel comfortable at.
Yeah, definitely make sure they're in like a safe space where it would be safe for them to come out, because, you know, I've been really lucky in my coming out experience. I just like didn't really tell anyone, and kind of just like one day like showed up and was like, this is my girlfriend, and everyone was like, oh, it makes sense. But I feel like I can't give advice to people that are coming from a rough situation, like and from, you know, maybe a harsh family life, or like the possibility that they could lose all of their friends. Like, I went to a very, very queer school, like to the point where when I started questioning my sexuality, it wasn't even a problem. It was like, oh yeah, but everyone here is like sexually fluid. It's not even like, if I were to say, hey, maybe I like girls, people would be like, yeah, and like whatever. But Yeah, it's the same thing. I get a lot of messages of people just saying that they love that they get to listen to music like this. That's just, I feel like it's the same thing as Olivia's music, where it's like just like casual. It's not trying to like throw it in your face. It's not, you know, just being like, I don't know. I feel like it's not like, hey, I'm gay, and that's all that is to me. It's like that's just something that comes with it. And people want to listen to that. People want to listen to like a story or, you know, follow a journey, but it just happens to be someone that's like a part of the same community. But I think, it is really important to remind kids that there is a huge community of people that will support you. And I think that's the coolest thing that I've learned over the past year. Like my whole band is queer females, and through like having a queer female band, I get to meet all of their friends, and like we have older friends. And so now I have like a small queer family of people from like 16 to 40 years old. And we all hang out and get to talk about like the difference and like the generational gaps between like queer culture. And it's just so interesting, like seeing everyone's different realities of the situation. But
that sounds beautiful. I'm speechless. I mean, this is where we all want to get someday. So, Maya, this is just like a fairy tale for lots of people.
Definitely.
So we all should book a flight to Australia and hang out with your friends.
Please.
Band with queer family, definitely.
Aldivine, what advice would you give to young LGBTQ kids?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I just said, to do everything at your own pace, and, you know, make sure that you are in a safe space if you're coming out, if you're new to all of this. But yeah, know that it is worth it, and we're all going to be here with open arms, you know, ready to accept you and love you for who you are. And it's a journey. And yeah, I'm here to help you figure it out if you need me.
That's so cute.
It is really a journey. That describes it the best, I guess. So before we come to an end, I mean, you're such incredible young queer artists. What can we expect in the future? I mean, people are waiting for music, especially after the pandemic. So what are you working on right now? What can we expect? So who wants to Now everyone's shy when it comes to their own.
Nothing, absolutely not. I mean, I've got new music coming, like pretty soon. I've got the like first part. I've got like 2 EPs coming this summer, and the first half coming on the 30th of July. So so stay tuned for that. And then the other half will be like a little bit later in the year. And then I'll be heading off on tour to play all those songs live for everyone. So yeah.
Are there any live plans? Are you able to plan live gigs right now in the UK?
Yeah, well, I've got it booked for the UK. It was meant to be Europe as well, but I guess that's still up in the air, given like the restrictions and stuff. So hopefully we'll figure that out soon. But yeah, I've got a UK tour booked, so that'll be super fun.
That's exciting. You know what? I got a ticket for the Pussycat Dolls. And,
wow.
and it's all in the UK. Yeah, they're only doing a UK tour, and they canceled it because it was last year, April, right when the pandemic starts. So I'm still waiting for the UK to start letting people to do concert shows, because I want to go to the Pussycat Dolls.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Maya, what are you working on? What can we expect coming next from you?
I actually just got off tour last week with the Veronicas. Yeah.
Oh, so sick.
I played a bunch of shows with them, which is awesome. I mean, we were meant to do Melbourne shows, but who knows if that's happening because we're in lockdown. But yeah, I've got an EP coming in August that I've been working on for ages, and we're having more music coming out after that. Probably an endless stream of shit coming from me. So I'm just excited to put it out.
Maya, just tell me that people went crazy after the pandemic when they go to the concert, when it was the first concert after the pandemic. Was the energy different?
It was, well, the thing is, we could do concerts for a bit, and then it all had to be seated, and then you could stand up, but you could only stand up in your seats. It was the weirdest thing ever, but we played the first like when I did my headline shows, we played the first non-seated, like everyone can just stand up and dance, and it was like it was the craziest energy I've ever seen. People just went crazy. Like no one cared about looking stupid.
That's what I'm hoping, because I'm DJing since I was 18 or something, and I can't wait the clubs to open again. And I'm sure the first gig will be insane.
Yeah.
Everyone will end in a hospital after this party. Okay, so thank you both so much. It was such a pleasure to talk to you. And it was so interesting that I even forgot to raise my beautiful flag.
Oh, yes. Hell yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for watching. And don't forget to tune in July 16th, our See My Pride event on TikTok. Follow us here, subscribe our channel to have more details. And thank you both so much. Kisses from Germany.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
See ya.
Can't get enough? Still want more? Subscribe our channel.
I'm so cold.